Hi, I'm Richard Lobb, the principal developer of the CodeRunner plugin for Moodle. One of the things you need if you're going to run the CodeRunner plugin is a thing called a Jobe server, which is the sandbox which you throw the programming jobs at, runs them, and gives you the results back. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to set one up in only about 5 minutes using a company called DigitalOcean. DigitalOcean is just one of several companies that lets you set up servers on the web using button clicks and so on, and I've chosen it because it's one I know, not because it's necessarily the best. If you want a more flexible general purpose system, you may want to consider Amazon ECS, and there's others out there, but I'm going to use DigitalOcean. So on my left I have the instructions for installing Jobe, which you should have on your screen as well. There's the address, and on the right hand side is where I'm going to do all the work. So I'm going to type DigitalOcean.com into the URL, and I'm going to land up here. And the first thing I'm going to do is give myself a new account. I'm going to sign up with Google. So I click that, and I happen to have a Google address, and with a bit of delay, bingo, I'm in. So if you don't have a Google account already, you can go through it some other way. But now I've got a signed up, I have to give it a credit card. I'm going to pause the video while I do that and enter my credit card details, which don't need to concern you, plus a few other bits and pieces. I'll be back with you in a few seconds. So, with credit card entered, it says welcome aboard, isn't that friendly? So I say got it, and now I'm in the situation of being able to create a new web server with a few button presses. So I'm going to start by creating a new droplet. That's what DigitalOcean calls its little wee web servers. So I click that and I get given several options, and I'm going to go this box here. I'm going to go for Ubuntu 18.04. That's the one at the very top. That's the latest version of Ubuntu at the moment, of the long-term version anyway. And I'm going to go for the cheapie, $5 a month. Can't complain at that. This is a minimal Jobe server. I wouldn't want to run large classes on it, but it would be okay for a high school class or for practicing for a bit. And you can upgrade the Jobe server as demand grows very easily. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to come down here, and I think I'll use the, let me see, let's run San Francisco. I don't want anything else. I'm going to create one. It's now creating the server for me. I'm going to pause the video a bit while it thinks about that. It takes probably 30 seconds or so, and when it's done it will email me. So I'm going to pause the video while it does that, and I'll tell you how long it took. Right, well that took about 12 seconds, can't complain at that. And I should have received an email. In fact, I just heard a little bingly beep telling me I did. So up here I have an email, and I'm going to open that, and it's going to tell me that my new droplet is all set to go. I can access it using the following credentials. Droplet name, that horrible mess. You probably want to give yours a better name, right? Call it Jobe or something. And the key things I really need to know are the IP address and the username's root and this horrible long password. Now in order to access this new server that's now sitting out there on the web, I need to have an SSH client. And the easiest way to get an SSH client is by using the Chrome web browser. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to come in here to Chrome, and I'm going to do Chrome SSH plugin, and it's going to tell me that there is one through the web store. So I'm going to go to the web store and I'm going to launch it, and it's going to give me a slightly messy window like that. I've used it before, so it's got some rubbish lying around. I'm going to start by typing in the username, which up here you'll see it tells me is root. So I type root in there. It asks for the host name. I just use the IP number for that, copy that into that button. I need to set the SSH port, which is 22, and I think I should be almost ready to go. Let's see what happens. Hit enter. It wants to open SSH links, say allow, and a little bit of kerfuffle happened then that you don't need to know about, and it says, am I sure I wish to continue connecting? Warning that the authenticity can't be established, but hey, I trust the internet, don't you? Hit yes. Permanently connected, permanently added that to the known hosts, and now it wants to know the password. And I don't think I wish to memorize a large string like that. Again, Control C and Control Shift V for paste. Say that again, Control Shift V for paste, hit enter, and what happens? Bingo! There I am talking to my new web server. wants to change the password, which isn't a bad idea. I don't like it much anyway. So I type in, or I paste in Control-Shift-V, that password again, and I give it a new one, which is my secret. You don't need to know what it is, and I'm going to do it again so that I've got a better password. I'm now talking to my wonderful new web server that's sitting there on the internet. So I'm going to close my email client. I don't need that again, and I'm going to scroll down through the instructions. And one of the first things it tells me is that I have to set up all of the necessary web tools. Now, the command begins sudo, but that simply says super user do, and I am already a super user, as you can possibly recognize from the fact that the prompt ends in a hash. So I'm going to just copy all of that lot, Control-C, and paste it in there, Control-Shift-V, and oops, I forgot something. Before I do that, I should synchronize the new web server with the repository. To do that, I go apt update. So a little bit of thought takes place while it gets itself the list of all the modules and programs available through the repository. How long is that going to take? Okay, I think we've just about done that. Reading the package list, we're done. So now I will repeat that command I just did, paste all those commands in. Now, you'll see it now says it needs 278 megabytes of archive. It's going to use 1.4 gigabytes of disk. Do you want to continue? I hit yes, enter, and it's now going to take a bit. I'm going to pause the video while it does that. It's scrolling a whole heap of stuff by. That's all that happens. Right, we're back again. That took a couple of minutes, and the next step, we've now finished installing all that stuff. The next step, we scroll down a bit. If you want to use Pylint, which is a checker for Python, and I certainly recommend it if you're teaching with Python, you need that command there. Copy and paste. That worked. That looked better. It's done that, and I don't need that older version because I didn't get an error, and now I just have to install Jobe. We're nearly there. So to do that, I have to cd to my web root, which in the case of Ubuntu is var/var/www/html. I'm there, and I have to get Jobe. So copy that command there, copy, and I don't need the sudo, but it doesn't have any, there's no problem with using it. Done that, now I have to change into the Jobe directory, cd to Jobe, and I have to install it, /install. You can type sudo in front of it if you like, it doesn't make any difference. And Jobe is now installed. We're nearly there. One or two more things I should do to clean up. I have to probably want to use UTF-8, right? Who doesn't? So to do that, we have to find a particular file here called etc apache2 env-vars, environment variables it stands for. Again, copy, and this time I have to cd to, oops, sorry, I don't cd, I want to nano, that's the editor, simple editor, that particular file, nano/etc apache2 env-vars. I'm editing that file, and the particular line I'm interested in is this one down here which says export lang equals C, and I'm going to get to the end of that with that little red cursor, and I'm going to add on that .utf-8, which means I'm using the basic C locale, but I want the UTF-8 character set available as well. Then I type Control-X. You'll see that there's a hint down here, Control-X for exiting. Asks me, do I want to save the changes? I type Y, and I type enter because I don't want to change the file name. We've made that change. I need to restart Apache with that command, service apache2 restart, Control-C, Control-V, done that, and now let's check if it works. So there's a command to see if the Jobe server is now working. Let's try typing it. Python 3 test submit. Tells me what languages I've got, C, C++, Java, Node.js, that's JavaScript, Octave, Pascal, woohoo, PHP, Python 3. It's busy doing various tests, timeout errors and so on. Let's just let it run for a few seconds. Doesn't take all that long. All looking good. I think I might have Got lucky this time. Checking various error conditions, all working. PHP programs being checked. Java. Notice, by the way, that it's Java 10 that got installed, even though I asked for Java 8. Don't ask me. I was expecting to get 8. Right. It's all running. We're now ready essentially to use the Jobe server. There are one or two things more I probably should do. One of the things I should do is this business securing by means of a firewall. At the moment, anybody anywhere in the world can use that Jobe server if they happen to know it's a Jobe server. They're not very likely to know that, but I really should lock it down. So the way I do that is I execute a few commands here to turn off all outgoing connections so that nobody can use this Jobe server as a way of sending email, for example. I don't need this one. I'm going to allow SSH connections to come in so that I can talk to it at any time while it's running. So I type that one in as well. That's the third line. And this is the tricky one. This one I have to tell it what Jobe server can connect to it. So I allow incoming TCP connections from, and in here goes the particular IP number of my Moodle. Did I say Jobe server? Of my Moodle server. This is the CodeRunner sort. So I have to make sure that CodeRunner can connect to this and nobody else can. So the question is, what's my IP number? And I'm going to pause while I look that up because I can't remember. Okay, I've looked it up, and this is actually on my laptop, the one I'm currently working on, 121.99.228.1. So that's the Moodle server's IP number. Type that, and lastly I turn it on, turn the firewall on. UFW stands for Uncomplicated Firewall. UFW enable. Proceed. It may break SSH connections, but it won't in this case. So the firewall is now active and will go on permanently. So nobody can connect to this anymore except my own Moodle server, which just happens to be sitting here. So now as a site administrator, I can go to Administer Plugins, and I can select question types, and goodness me, there's a CodeRunner here. So with CodeRunner, I can now tell it what my Jobe server address is, which is that magic address that was in the email a minute ago. There it is there, that one, 167.99.104.234. So I paste that in here and save that. And now I should be able to run using that particular Jobe server. Let's see if it works. So I have to go back to my course, the one I was currently using, Testing and Development, Question Bank, pick up some suitable questions. Let's try a Python question, simple demo questions. So I'll use the Python square function, standard test. It popped off screen. Bring that up, fill in the correct response, and click check. And there it is. So it just ran my question on my new Jobe server. Obviously, I should check a few more things, like, for example, I should check it runs C, or whatever. Let's just check C to be on the safe side. There's a C question, fill in the correct response, check it. Yep, seems to run C. So, you've now seen how to set up a Jobe server. That wasn't too bad, I hope. Thanks for watching. Bye.